Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is here. It's ready because it is week 11. We are wrapping up Sunday night game as we speak. Cincinnati at the LA Chargers. It's going down to the wire, and we are kicking off the show right as soon as the game ends. So don't forget, before we get to the show, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Give it a click. Subscribe to it. It's right there. Every new subscriber counts for something. All my videos are up there. All my content is up there. Stand-up comedy, the YouTube Sunday shorts, my interview series as well. So go check it out. Well, it's Sunday. You know what time it is. It's time for the Sunday Night Talk. Here we go. All right, it is Sunday night. It is 10:50 Central Time. Omar is here. We just wrapped up the Sunday night game. Well, should I even hold my thought on that? Because it's still kind of going. Omar is here on the screen, although I don't know where he is. I just see his name. Here he is. Omar is here. Omar, there are 10 seconds left in this Sunday night game. It's 27-34. Sorry, 27-34. The Chargers are up. Do the Bengals have anything left in them?
It looks like they do. I mean, I don't know how far ahead.
Why won't this game end? This game will not end.
It won't end. And it was a good game. It was a great comeback. And more important, they're going to get I'm going to give my costume award now. I hate to share it, but I just love those Bengals orange pants.
Here we go. We're down to we're going to have one more play after this. Incomplete pass to Ja'Marr Chase on the sideline.
Pause it for a little bit. Give me
oh, you're behind. Why are you always behind, Omar? All right, I'm going.
It's the street.
All right. I'm turning it around. I'm turning it around. You are going to be in charge of this game, all right?
All right.
I'm not looking at it.
Joe Burrow just fired an incomplete pass to the sideline.
Right, that's the Ja'Marr Chase one, right?
Okay, we got 3 seconds left.
3 seconds. What yard line are they on?
Shit, they're back there.
Yeah, I think they're like on the 50.
Yeah, so it's going to be a Hail Mary.
Okay, Hail Mary play. Oh, well, we had a lot of Hail Mary talk a couple weeks ago.
Oh, we did. So maybe this would be a great, I think, you can't go wrong whether you're going to target Higgins or Chase now, or do you want to do, or Patrick, would you do just throw it up there and try to get a deflection?
Right. Hail Mary possibilities are deflections, interference, jump ball.
A jump ball?
Mm-hmm. We know Burrow can get it there. We've seen, we got a lot of, anything could happen here. And also, let's not forget, we're talking Chargers. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Okay. Well, what's going on right now? Did somebody call a timeout?
Looks like it.
Timeouts. By the way, since the 2-minute warning, how long has it been? 25 minutes has elapsed?
Yeah.
This is I think we're on our 5th possession within the 2-minute warning.
That's crazy.
1, 2, 3.
Last
possession.
Last play of the game. Here we go. Joe Burrow. Looks like saw something. Lets them know. Here's the snap. Joe Burrow goes back. Midfield. Throws it up in the air. And oh. Wow, T. Higgins made a good play at it, but couldn't come up with it. Game's over.
Wow, so we're final.
We're fine. How confident are you if you're the Chargers? You gutted out a win, but
he almost came down with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have fallen into the end zone, but he got 2 hands on that ball. 34-27 final. the LA Chargers over the Cincinnati Bengals. So that makes the Chargers 7-3. Are they really 7-3?
Yeah.
And that makes Cincinnati 4-7. So, okay, I got 2 questions for you. Number 1, do you believe in curses? Because the Chargers almost blew this game in the most all-time Charger way.
They almost did, man.
Did you think they were going to lose this game?
I thought the Chargers looked lifeless.
The whole second half, they didn't do anything. Herbert had the fumble. They're going 3 and out all the time. Their defense looked tired. I was like, you were going to out-Chargers yourself again. That last drive is the only thing that really saved it. Herbert had the passes and then the field goal or the touchdown run, of course. So, all right. This is weird, though, because I was really impressed with the Bengals in that second half. So pick a team moving forward, Cincinnati or the LA Chargers for you.
Well, right now, I think that that Joe Burrow is probably the best player in the NFL, arguably. I really do. He's that
Whoa,
good.
Joe Burrow, the best player in the NFL?
He has played extremely well.
Wow.
He just has not,
We're off to a hot start here.
He and Jamar Chase just have not had I don't think the support from the rest of the team. And so I do think that but right now, look, the Chargers are 7-3. I don't know if they're going to catch the Chiefs in the division, but hey, they're definitely in play for a wild card. So, they could do some damage.
I think if you take the the first 2 quarters and then the last drive of this game, they're playing with anybody. They're beating potentially anybody if everything goes their way. Because, I mean, you saw Herbert today. Like, it's funny we still haven't got the Herbert game yet. And, like, Collinsworth was kind of dancing around it to his, like, we haven't seen the Herbert. This is the closest we've seen to the Herbert that we all know he has the potential for. And I don't think we've gotten that game yet. So the second he's unleashed, I don't know anybody who can stop him. Like, imagine Josh Allen's strength, Mahomes' arm strength, vision. Like, Joe Burrow's vision today was great. Throwing balls on the run, finding Chase, finding Higgins. Imagine if you put all those together into Herbert. What's to stop him? The talent level of the receivers, possibly the O-line. I don't think they're really that far away, but then again, they always have the potential to always bomb a win, which they almost did today. 2 missed field goals from the Bengals. It has continuously sunken them this year. It's brutal, and field goals played a big role today in general. So this game alone, Sunday night, Bengals Chargers. How psyched were you for this game in general?
How psyched was I? I wasn't terribly psyched about it. I was more pumped up with the the Ravens Steelers. I thought that was that game didn't disappoint. So I was really pumped up. Then I of course was pumped about the Bills Chiefs. But
a lot of big matchups today. Yeah, it's weird because this Sunday night game was like maybe 3rd, maybe 4th billing of good games tonight.
Now, I don't believe that either of these teams will be playing in February. Okay, they're not on my Super Bowl radar. Either of these 2 teams.
No, not with all the talent. I mean, it would take a lot of odds for me to put money on either of these teams. That being said, just yes or no, can Cincinnati make a run?
They could, but they can't. They really can't drop anymore.
Well, do you think they can run the table? Can they be the run the table team?
They could. They have that kind of talent. But
so I'm agreeing with you. I'm not giving up on Cincinnati yet.
I'm not either. But the problem with them is who else is going to step up? Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I know they're your it's your quarterback, your star franchise quarterback, and 2 exceptional receivers, arguably the best wide receiver tandem, right? Duo.
Yeah. According to Chris Collinsworth, yes.
Well, I think there was a little.
They've been doing this since LSU, Mike.
I think there's a little Cincinnati Bengals bias there for Collinsworth.
Oh my, he was gonna adopt Justin Herbert in the first quarter. Mike, look, he's putting it all together, Mike. It's just, I love to see this. Jim Harbaugh has really unleashed something here. I mean, Chris Collins loves quarterbacks, so this was a great game for Collinsworth. It was funny after I wrote it down somewhere here. Cincinnati misses the 51-yarder to take the lead. And Tirico's like, 51 yards, the snap is up. It's no good. And Collinsworth, for like the first time ever, was silent. He said nothing. He was just in shock. Like, I wish we had a shot of Collinsworth in the booth because I think his hands were over his head at that point. It's like, I've never seen Collinsworth silent like that. Just another great Sunday night capper for Collinsworth and announcers in general, which was fun today. So, all right, let's flip it. Can the LA Chargers make a run?
No, I think they have a good record.
Wow, that's the one you go instant no on. What's the deal?
I think they're playing. I mean, I think their record is a lot better than what they really are. I still see a lot of holes with them. Obviously, their defense. I mean, just their offense came out flat. I could see them. I mean,
in the second half.
The second half. If your offense comes out flat like that in Kansas City, in Arrowhead, you're done. You're done. If you come out flat like that in Buffalo, you're done. If you want to do that in Pittsburgh and in Baltimore, you're done. So they got problems.
The second half was weird. Like, that's why I asked you if you believed in curses, because I wrote it down when the Bengals came all the way back to down a touchdown, 20-27. I was like, okay, we're at the perfect Chargers crossroads here. Years back, the Chargers went this way and fumbled the ball or missed a field goal. Let's see if Harbaugh Chargers can go the other way and turn the corner and actually not lose this game. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if this game answered anything for me because they still barely squeaked out this win, but we were like at the perfect Chargers crossroads game again, where they look good for 2 quarters. And then we're like, oh, wait a second. It's a touchdown game. Hold on. What is going on here? So I don't know what it's going to take to get rid of the Chargers curse. This is a good step, but man, the wheels were coming off the wagon there for the Chargers. It was 3 and out. And then the Herbert fumble was like, oh God, here it comes. And they pulled it out somehow. It was insane. But then again, the second to last drive, last drive. So where the Chargers have the ball, it's tied, and Herbert just goes 3 and out, and they have to punt it to Cincinnati. So I was like, oh, great. Cincinnati's going to win this game or overtime. I fully did not expect another possession to come to the Chargers. This game would not end. Give it to Harbaugh for having the 2 timeouts too. Wow. What a Sunday night.
What a Sunday night.
And your guess on Cincinnati knowing the Chargers.
Yeah.
To my surprise.
I'm okay with that.
One more thing on Joe Burrow. I'm gonna take it out because I've been worried about this all year, but I'm taking it out now. I think he has just the worst body language on the sidelines. He just always looks distraught and angry and upset. And when you have that hair, it doesn't help your cause. You end up just looking like a ungrateful douche with blonde hair. And then secondly, Zach Taylor, coach of the Bengals, going into halftime, Melissa Stark does the 1-question interview, and she goes, what do you need to do in the second half? And he goes, well, we just got to get 1 stop. Zach Taylor, it's 24-6. You need more than 1 stop.
Yeah. And you haven't gotten any so far.
Right. We just need 1 stop. Okay, you got 1 stop. Guess it's 13-24.
Right.
You're going to need more than 1 stop. Any final thoughts on this game? Anything jump out at you?
Nothing. Again, like I said, they're not on my Super Bowl radar. It was an entertaining game. I think right now one of the most disappointing stories I think in NFL as far as teams go, right up with my team, the 49ers, I think it is the Bengals. I just don't think they're playing up to their potential. and it's going to be tough for them to get in the playoffs, but they can make a run. So I trust on the NFC side, and AFC Cincinnati, the Niners on the NFC side. I trust the Bengals more than the Niners to make a run.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that. I have Bengals, Chargers, and I have a couple other teams on my list here. And all right, if you weren't ready for this show to go from PG-13 to R, here it comes, everybody. Bengals and Chargers, I am now affectionately calling the hand job teams of the NFL.
Uh-oh.
Because it's kind of fun, but you know what? This isn't going to work. This is not a team. This is not an activity or a team that is really going to do it for you in the end. So I call them the hand job teams. Like, this is only so much fun. Bengals and Chargers. Do you agree with my R-rated rendition of these teams?
I do.
The hand job teams?
Yes.
I'm also putting New Orleans in that category.
Oh, that's a team you just don't know. That whole division, okay? Aside from the crappy Panthers, but the Saints, Falcons, the Buccaneers, you just don't know what you're gonna get with those teams.
Another reason to call them the hand job teams. LA Rams too, hand job team.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyable for 7 minutes, and you're like, what's happening here? This can't go on.
Right.
This cannot go on. Okay, I want to throw a few things at you before we get to the game. So I want to take you through my week and my Sunday because I wrote a few ideas down during the week, and now I just want to flesh them out with you here on the air. All right, I got a hot take coming off of last week because I love the bye week. What about this idea for the NFL? Every team has one bye now. How about this? The NFL should just have a midseason break. 1 week where there's no games. Just every team is off. So we don't have to worry about who's on, who's off. It kind of like the NBA has an all-star break. 1 week off. What do you think of this idea?
I think you should pitch that. I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, like we can all reset. We can do some alternative programming for that Sunday. I don't know. We're going to have to do some thinking on what we're going to do with that Sunday. But I think you should just give everybody the week off and let everybody regroup like the NBA does or NHL or baseball. Give everybody a break to get healthy and come back a week later. That was my idea. So you kind of like it, huh?
I love that idea.
Give everybody a chance to spend the one Sunday with their families to earn a little bit of goodwill for the rest of the season. So they're like, hey, well, we went apple picking that 1 week in November and that was good. So, can I watch football all day? And then the wife can go like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. You put your time in. And another idea I had. So I'm obsessed with not only the idea of Bill Belichick coming back to the NFL at some point, I'm also now become obsessed with his 24-year-old girlfriend. And I think in 2 to 3 years, there's no way she doesn't have her own podcast show, right? Like, she has got to have so much information about the man. And just her last 2 years, I'd be like, private jets, great vacations. Like, wouldn't you want to know what Bill Belichick's lifestyle's like? I know I would listen to that podcast. I'd give it an episode.
I'd listen to that.
Yeah, like what's she all about? Like what's she doing on a Monday through Friday basis? Podcast, get her on there. It would be a big get for like some of the big podcasts like that Call Her Daddy one. She's got that written all over. Erin Andrews and her partner and her podcast would have her on, talk about hot girl stuff. I listen to hot girl stuff.
You love hot girl stuff. I think we all do.
I do. I just love listening to these conversations about things I'll never know about. So what do you think? Would you want to listen to that podcast? Do you have any other people in mind in the NFL or NFL adjacent that you'd want to listen to a podcast of them of?
No, that's a good question. Maybe I'll prepare some names for next week's show. I got to think about that.
Maybe Jason Garrett one-on-one.
I don't know about that. Get out.
No, I'm skipping that one. Skip all things Jason Garrett. All right, number 3. All right, Omar, you know how I usually spend my Sunday. I watch the games, I have multiple screens going, I'm taking my notes. This Sunday was a change because I had to babysit my two niece and nephews today. From 1 to 5 p.m., I had to babysit these kids. Now, one of them's pretty easy. He goes downstairs, he puts a blanket over his head, he just watches TV. He's fine. Now, the other one kind of made it her mission to not only hit every single key on my laptop 87 times, not only try and lock me out of my own phone, but at some point she put trash in my pockets. Kid is an animal. Putting trash in my pockets.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. She had me on the run, and then I tried to trick her by saying, "Oh, they might show Taylor Swift in this Kansas City game. Like you love Taylor Swift. They might show her," thinking I could get 5 minutes out of her sitting down watching the screen. No. She said she doesn't like Taylor Swift at away games. I didn't know a 6-year-old knew this shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Patrick, they know. They know about Taylor.
I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, here we go." And then Travis Kelce, I think, dropped a pass. And then this is how early it starts for women, Omar. He drops a pass, he gets up, and my niece goes, "He's ugly."
Ah,
Like, Jesus, you women, it never ends.
no one's ever good enough.
So that was my Sunday. It had me on the run. I'm not gonna lie. I was against the ropes a little bit. I felt like Mike Tyson in the 5th round from Friday.
Camilo's basketball team had not playoffs, but there was a basketball tournament this weekend. So I too. Then now there were 2 television sets at the tournament facility. So I was able to catch the local games. And obviously I had my phone, but obviously I was focusing on my son's basketball game, but I was able to see some football. There were a few games that we're probably going to be really quick on because I just didn't really, Vikings, Titans. I caught a few, and I caught the highlights, some plays, but yeah, it was also a different day for me as far as football watching.
How's your son's basketball game coming along?
Good. A great defense. A great defense. It's just that confidence on the offensive side. I mean, his defense on the team is like second to none. This guy's getting steals. He's pickpocketing these dribblers and intercepting passes. So it's just he does not like shooting the ball. And his coaches, when he touches the ball, his coaches are screaming at him to shoot the ball.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've taken in a bit of youth basketball these last few weeks, watching my nephew play, and the parents are kind of fun to sit with and listen to because they're all rooting for their kid, but it's 50% rooting, 50% frustration, because I mean you can't really blame the kid. They really don't know all these rules about basketball, like just the notion of boxing out is something I don't think anybody really grasps till they're like 17 or 18 years old. Because it's a weird thing where like, all right, ball, shoot it. That's all there is to this game. So I've listened to that and I'm with you. These kids kind of go crazy. They also do the thing where like they'll get a rebound and then they'll sprint to the other end of the floor but not look where the ball is. So there's been several long passes down the court and then it just goes out of bounds because they're not looking and who's throwing them the ball.
That full court, that rebound and that full court outlet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you're under 12 years old, that's not a good basketball play. Okay.
No, right. You're throwing a heavy ball at me and I'm running full speed with my little 4'8" self. I'm not catching this ball.
Yeah. So also, what Steph Curry did to kids basketball, not his fault, but man, there's kids that are firing up 3-pointers from like the logo,
Yeah, I haven't seen that kid yet in his league, but I can't think that's too far away. I might say
they're coming because I think Cam's a year older than your nephew, but they're coming because
and I watched one basketball game of my nephew, and the referee was calling this thing tight. Kids were fouling out. They were in the double bonus, and they're trying to figure out what 1-and-1 means versus 2 shots. It was a mess. It was a total mess in this game.
When you line them up on the free throws, when you got to line the defense.
Oh, that takes a minute and a half alone.
Yeah. Or and of course the tying the shoes.
Oh, tying shoes is good. Substitutions seems to be a bit of a challenge a lot of times. Like 3 kids come in, but only 2 come out. So they got to
Right.
figure out that, oh, wait, we need one more. The inbounding. It seems every single inbound, nobody knows who's inbounding the ball. I don't know who to blame there, coaches or players themselves. Like nobody knows who's inbounding. And then it changes the next play and they're all confused. So it's been very, very unusual for youth sports. Nonetheless, fun. That brings us to our Sunday, Omar, and we got a bunch of games, bunch of early games as well, but great matchups all the way around. So you may have noticed I went heavy on my Raiders gear today. I
You did.
went with my
I love that like that homage to Ice Cube with that, or was it that Ice Cube jacket? I really like it.
Yeah, I got my satin Raiders jacket today. I got my Raiders hat for the year, but I kind of wore this because I might be done wearing Raiders gear for the year. Like this might have been the nail in the coffin for me.
I did not. I've been wearing my 49er hat only.
Well, I knew something was wrong when they did a shot of the Raiders coaching booth today, and it was a shot of Norv Turner, who the Raiders apparently have hired. And
Yeah.
and Norv Turner, because it's like him at the desk, he's got a huge band-aid on his like left hand. I'm like, dude, what happened to Norv Turner? What's under that hand? Did this guy get in a knife fight at
Are we
70
talking
something
about
years old?
are we talking about Raiders Dolphins now?
Let's get it out of the way
All
because
right. Because I did feel some sadness from my childhood.
oh wow, we're getting this deep early in the show.
I remember the Raiders and Dolphins had some pretty good battles.
What in the
When we
70s? Jesus, we're
70s,
going back a long way.
70s, 80s. You know, just it was good fun. Um, and you know, of course, these are two cornerstone franchises, have won championships. And so it's good. Um, again, two teams, definitely the Raiders are not on my Super Bowl radar. They're not on my
They're
playoff
not
radar.
even a hand job team, Omar.
They're not even a hand job team.
No.
They are top 5 pick fishing this year, you know? Um,
Jeez, yeah. Well,
and
what do you
so
think I should do as a Raiders fan? Is it time to tank? Is it time to skip Raiders games in general? Because
look,
I mean, we gave up hope on the season. That's
you are
for sure.
you are drafting a quarterback. Okay.
Agreed.
There's no doubt you are drafting a quarterback. One, because I don't know of any free agents that are going to be coming out this next round that are worth.
Right.
I think, and it's so hard to find a quality starting quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. Look what the Raiders have done since Derek Carr, who, by the way, did not win. You know, consistently with the Raiders. Good stats, yes,
Yeah.
but you know they've had Gardner Minshew. They've had you know who else have you guys? O'Connell,
O'Connell, Jimmy G. Let's not forget the Jimmy G
the experiment.
circus.
So look, you guys are drafting a quarterback now. You know who you
Brian
know
Hoyer.
you got Shadur, who probably would love to go to Vegas and promote his brand there. Um, there's some decent college quarterbacks that
Yeah.
could be, and so you're gonna. So that's you know all you can do is just say you know at this point you're a Raiders fan. You just gotta be praying that your GM and your scouts are just really looking at a lot of college tape at night. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
you
Put a lot of focus into getting our
this
guy, finding the guy.
this franchise cannot afford another bust
Mm.
quarterback.
God, you're making me scared just saying those words because I watched the game today and this was the first game all year that I think the defense was the reason we lost. Miami is just running all over them. Tyreek Hill is making his own routes. no one's checking him. No one's getting hands on him. Miami puts up 34 points. It was ugly to see. Somehow the Raiders got a couple touchdowns, which is very rare for the Raiders, but I wrote down as I'm watching this, I think I uttered the words, "We're still alive," 14 different times during this game. They scored a touchdown. I was like, okay, we're still alive. All right, we finally are getting a punt. We're still alive. I said it so many times today, and it really did not happen. They were not alive. Minshew was Minshew today. At some point, one of the announcers was like, "That's a good throwaway." Like, at least he like had good form or something for the throwaway. I don't know where your screen is, Omar, but I'm watching a Joe Burrow interview right now. His hair is very tall.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
getting very shaggy up there. I like it. He's perfected the I'm a 90s high school cool guy look.
That's nice.
Which
Good
I
look.
gotta say, I would have killed for that look. I wish I was cool. My God. Green Bay, Chicago.
Green Bay,
Thoughts?
Chicago. Tough game. Tough loss for the Bears.
Toughest. That's a tough. How much has field goals killed the Bears this year and Hail
Yeah,
Marys?
yeah. It's a shame that that there's two wins that Caleb could have flipped. On the winning, on the winning side of things. Um,
Well, two
but
that I mean they weren't his fault. A Hail Mary and a blocked field goal.
right. No, but I think it was interesting this week. There were media reports that there were some veterans in that Chicago locker room that wanted Caleb Williams benched.
All right, well, let's talk about that game because this one came down to the end. Chicago, I mean, not haven't has not had a lot of offense all year, but well, it also carries true in this game until the last drive. Here's the Bears and Caleb Williams' last drive. He gets sacked on first and second down, and then proceeds to throw three of his best passes in a row. After that, they convert a fourth down. He gets out of a sack and makes this amazing throw over the middle, leading up to the field goal, which got blocked, and then the Bears lose to Green Bay 20-19. We had a good catch controversy when
Yeah,
the Green Bay Packers were driving to take the lead. I don't think we've had one yet this year. I've
right.
watched it like 100 times. I still don't know if it was a catch or not a catch.
That's a tough one. Tough one.
What'd you think in real time? Did he catch it or not?
Real time, I thought he caught it, but I'm not quite sure.
God, I was like 50, 52-48 that he did not catch it, and then they ruled it a catch. This was the Tom Brady game, Green Bay at Chicago, and I thought Tom Brady is getting more and more excited every single game. I liked him again this week. I'm going to listen to all my shows, and I'm sure they're going to bury him. I don't know. I still don't know what we want out of him. I liked him. Like, I never hear anybody say, "Oh, Mark Sanchez, he's bad. He's so bad." So I
Yeah.
don't know what the deal is. I don't mind him. Are you not liking him? Has he changed your mind? Has he turned you?
No, no,
No, so you don't like him. You
no,
say he's bad?
I don't think he's good. But but he's
What makes him not good to you?
what do you, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's like, he's so bad, but they will not name a reason. Is he sitting there in silence? Because he was a little bit in week one. Is he making erroneous observations? No, he knows the game. He's really excited now. Like he's like, whoa, oh wow, that's a great pass. Like he says normal things, but he's very amped the last, at least this last week. I don't get it. If I want Tom Brady in the booth, I want to hear what he has to say, dumb or not. So I like it. I think people are being too hard on him.
eh,
You're not still not convinced.
yeah. I think I don't like talking about Tom Brady in the box. I
Yeah,
think
see, you're angry about something. You're not telling me.
I
How
think no.
dare
I'm
you?
saying I think enough's enough with. I mean, it's his first year. He's not going to be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he
so what do we care?
I don't. Yeah. That's why I don't think we should care anymore that Tom Brady's in the box.
Yeah, I don't. I like it. All right, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. First game of the day. Pittsburgh 18, Baltimore 16. Did we underrate Pittsburgh?
Yes, we did,
We
and
did. It's time to fully say they're good, right?
they're gritty.
God.
They're gritty. So they're it's a tough team, and I gotta maybe apologize to Russell Wilson.
Apologize to Russell Wilson on the show, Omar.
Yeah, hey man, I thought you were done when you said Broncos, let's ride a couple of years ago. I thought your career was flat out over. Um, and I thought the Denver trip was just gonna be you on your way to retirement, but he's resurrected his career.
Wow. Well, I hope he listens to the show so we can hear you apologize. That
I
was
mean,
very heartfelt.
yeah.
You have to apologize. All right. So we both underestimated Pittsburgh. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I am not discounting Pittsburgh, even if it's Baltimore. Here's the one weird thing. I thought I turned away and missed something, or the announcer said something and I missed it. But there's a point where in this game where Pittsburgh's in the lead, they have the ball and they're trying to get a first down to run out the clock. And I think it's like 3rd and 8. And they put in Justin Fields. And he does this quarterback rollout run. And he slides 1 yard short of the line to gain. I was like, why did you put in Justin Fields to do this running play, which he starts to slide too early, and they have to punt it? Oh, that was weird. Very un-Mike Tomlin-esque.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else saw that, but I was like, what? Why did they put him in for that? Could have cost them the game, but Pittsburgh is tough. What impressed you the most about this Pittsburgh win?
And it's just the grittiness, the fact that they just eked it out and they held firm at home. And when Baltimore goes to Pittsburgh, or when Pittsburgh goes to Baltimore, you're gonna get a tough game.
Yeah.
It's two franchises that they show up for these games. And more than anything, I think Lamar just hasn't had great success against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh has had his number for a few years now, but still a good game. And these
Yeah.
are two teams that are going to be into the mix in the playoffs, in my opinion.
I'm with you. And I'm not even worried about this loss by Baltimore either.
I'm not either. They're going to be fine.
Baltimore is tough. Pittsburgh is tough. These teams are just going to beat each other up for the rest of the season. It's really, really tough. Like that AFC, that top of the AFC is brutal. They're so good. And again, I don't even want to rule out a Chargers or a Bengals getting a win here or there. It's really, really tough in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you who's not tough. The New England Patriots. LA Rams at New England. I wrote down the Rams are still fun. I don't trust them one bit. This is just a fun team who's going to lose the games you think they might win, and who's going to win games that you think they might lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like last week, Monday night Miami, they were on the back foot the whole game. And in this week, they're going to New England, and Puka is diving for balls, catching balls all over the place. Drake May's getting more and more comfortable on New England. And the Rams pull this one out 28-22. And I do not trust you, Rams. I still don't trust you, and I don't think I will this year. You will burn me for whatever money I will put on you. I guarantee it.
How crazy is it that the most trustworthy team in the NFC West right now may be the Arizona Cardinals?
Were they on a bye this week?
Yeah, I think they had a bye this week.
That's why the bye always boosts your confidence.
It did.
That's why we got to go back to my week off idea for the NFL.
And I think 49ers are officially in last place in the division.
Yeah, I think you're right. With their loss to Seattle today, Rams won.
And Rams and Seahawks have right now the tiebreaker over the Niners. So it's not looking good.
All right, we're gonna get to that game. Save it because we still got another what I call NFL dud. Indianapolis at the New York Jets. How many minutes of this game did you watch today?
I didn't watch really any of it. I did see again highlights. Jets. I mean, they were in the game. I mean, it was a close game. Richardson played very well.
Yeah, surprise Richardson performance was not bad today.
Maybe that benching was good for him. I mean, he threw 3 touchdown passes today. Jets. I mean, it's just you want to talk about an awful franchise right now. Just an awful football city right now. The city of New York that I think have the worst team in the NFC and worst team in the AFC.
Who would you rather be? Las Vegas Raiders or the New York Jets?
I'd rather be I'd be with the Raiders franchise, right? I'd rather be with the Raiders franchise right now.
Yeah, I would say like just as far as locker rooms go, I would say it's a tiny bit more comfortable than the Jets. I'm guessing.
I don't know how much Antonio. I don't know what kind of string Antonio Pierce is going to have. I don't know. I could see him being a one and done coach.
Yeah, it's his first year as a coach.
And it depends because like if a guy like Ben Johnson, the OC, or even the DC out of Detroit, Aaron Glenn, if these guys come up, a team like the Raiders, a team like the Jets, a team like the Jaguars, they should be making phone calls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we should be going through the Belichick's and the hot college coach and the hot defensive coordinator right now, just trying to figure out who can we get. Is there anybody we really really like, or is it worth giving our guy Antonio Pierce one more year? I mean, it is his first head coaching job ever. So, all right, here was okay. The score 28-27 Indianapolis over the Jets, but the Jets and Aaron Rodgers had one last drive in this game. And I watched this last drive. Omar, there was not even a hope, a hint of a hope that Rodgers could get this ball to the 50. He got sacked. He rolled out of the pocket. He threw in. Like, it wasn't even a threat that they could go down the field with anything.
Right.
Rodgers moves so gingerly. I don't know how they put up 27 points. It's weird. The last thing in his game to really be affected is his arm. Ironically, everything else is gone, but his arm is fine.
What do you think? Devontae Adams, does he come back next year to the Jets?
I don't know, but I'm so glad he's unhappy at the Jets. I'm so glad.
Screw him.
I'm so glad you left the Raiders pissed off and went to a team that made you more pissed off. I'm so glad, Devontae.
Like you followed a 40-year-old quarterback. Good for you. You know what I mean?
Right. This is all you, Devontae Adams. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Get out of here. Go to the Jets. Go play with Aaron Rodgers. Next game, complete, utter dismantlement. Detroit, Jacksonville, 52-6.
Oh, we don't even need to talk about that. I mean,
this was just a beating. It's almost like the Detroit Lions are the heavyweight champion of the world, and they're just mowing down tomato cans on their way to like a main title event type of thing.
Yeah, this was bad. One thing take away from this, I think Mac Jones played in place of Lawrence.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think now we got to start asking questions about Lawrence. Is he really a franchise quarterback?
Definitely Lawrence questions time.
I think Peterson is done. I think he's a good coach. Obviously, he led the Eagles to a Super Bowl, but it just looks like that franchise, considering how much they've tried. They've gone and they've signed big players and they've come in with some hype. They made the playoffs last year, right? I mean, they were there.
Were they 2 years ago? They were the hot team.
Yeah, or maybe 2 years ago, and then it seems like they've taken a step back.
Oh, it's been maybe a fallback. They look like a mess out there. 6 points to a really good Detroit team. They just got killed. It's just not been good for the Jaguars. I mean, Jaguars or Raiders. Man, can you imagine that? If the Jaguars had to play the Raiders next week?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know who would win that game or lose it. It'd be so ugly. Next game, Cleveland at New Orleans. New Orleans finally wins a game.
Another terrible game.
Winston is in this game.
And he didn't play well. He did not play. Even by his standards, he did not play well. I know he wanted to, being that he used to quarterback for the Saints. But Cleveland, a franchise, also. You know what? And I think they're down there with New York in my opinion, because again, God, it seems like they do all these moves and we figured it out. We figured it out, and we're coming back. Our fan base deserves a winner. We've fallen short. We're gonna get it right. And again, it's the same crap with the Cleveland Browns.
Jeez, they're another one. Like, remember we did coaches of football past with each of our teams a few weeks ago? Yeah. If we went through quarterbacks of Cleveland's past, we would go, oh my God, what are we at? 21 names over the last 8 years, 10 years? They put all their chips into a Deshaun Watson. They paid him a bunch of money. They got the guy they want. And then he doesn't really want to be there or really play hard. And now we got Jameis Winston starting games. Like, that's got to be a punch to the gut. Like, wow, did we really pick somebody who doesn't want to be here? And did we really pay him a lot of money? The answer to that is yes. And yes, somehow Winston had 395 yards passing. I have no idea how. But in true Winston fashion, almost 400 yards passing, 14 points. We don't know how it happened. We don't want to know how it happened. Okay, I have a name for this game, the Minnesota at Tennessee game. I call this game the chopping block game because there's so many games going on. You got a couple screens. You got one you're checking scores on. There's one game that just you cannot fit into your rotation. And for some reason, I made that one Minnesota-Tennessee was my chopping block game. Sorry, you're just on the chopping block. I'm not going to watch any of you. I'm just going to read your scores later. 23-13, Minnesota at Tennessee. Did you watch it? Was there anything that I missed?
No, that was a tough game to watch. I will say this. I gotta hand it to the Vikings. They're looking tough. They're winning. You know, they're 8.
Yeah, they held serve today.
Hey, they're batting 800 for the year. Okay, so think about that. A Sam Darnold team, you know, he was in that train wreck of a franchise, you know, in New York, and now look at him.
It's just got to be every bad team's like hope is like, well, maybe we'll get a Dan Campbell. When he took over that team, it was in shambles, and look what he's done. That's my hope. Now on to the late games. 3 games this slate. Atlanta at Denver. Denver scored 38. Atlanta 6. I only wrote down November Cousins. That's all you need to know. That's it. We're at November, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and what a horrible performance.
Denver. Wow.
But and Denver, you know, they're what are they, 5-5 or 6-5 now? I mean, they're what
they're a little feisty.
You know, and again, going back to the Russell Wilson thought that I had, well, you know, when Russell Wilson is saying, you know, let's ride, it looked like the franchise was done too.
Yeah.
So,
remember how bad it was? Somehow they won like, what, 6 straight?
Elway kind of like left the franchise unceremoniously. There were rumors that I guess somebody accused was it Brian Flores that maybe accused Elway of like not taking the interview seriously, that he may have been drinking the day of.
Whoa, I didn't hear that part. Wow,
Yeah,
you with the dish.
Run that story.
We'll run that through our fact checking department, Omar.
And it just looked like it wasn't a good franchise. And now, you know, they're, you know, and Sean Payton looked like the game had passed him, you know, when he had Russell Wilson.
Yep, we hated Sean Payton.
And we hated Sean Payton because he hated Russell Wilson, you know. But it now looks like it worked out better for both, you know, that divorce happened.
Yeah, they're not looking too bad, Denver. I'm not willing to make a ruling on them yet, but they're trending the right direction. They killed Atlanta. That moves us on to your game, Seattle at San Francisco, 20-17. Purdy's numbers were pretty average in this game, but if you just watch this game with your eyes, if I had told you the best thing about your 49ers team this year was going to be Brock Purdy, would you believe me? Would you say, like, no way, it's going to be Debo. No way, it's going to be Kittle. The best thing about San Francisco is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, right now it is, and it's all on him.
And somehow it's not turning into wins, though. Like this game, too. They did a great job, and then Seattle comes back with the last drive, scores a touchdown, and wins. They're like the NFC Cincinnati, it seems.
Kittle's been hurt. It's been tough, and you know, we didn't have McCaffrey for a good amount of time, so it's been a tough season for the Niners.
Losing to Seattle at home, I would say, like, okay, this is a tough loss, but I think at this point they're all tough losses. Every single game is devastating to every team. I'm definitely another just like Denver's. Like, I'm not really to make a ruling on them yet. They're just too good for me to say, no, this isn't the year. There's an injury on another team, something, they catch fire. I'm not willing to put a ruling on them yet, though. Like, right. I'm also of the thought, like, you watch, Seattle's going to lose 8 straight. Just watch. So I'm not saying they're out. I'm not willing to do that. All right, game of the day. KC at Buffalo. Buffalo gets over the hump, 30-21. I had them in control of this game pretty much the whole game. The Josh Allen case for MVP started
Hey,
today.
it's heating up. It's heating up.
What were you most impressed with Buffalo today?
Um, I was most impressed with just the grit. Josh Allen just did not look that he was what I want to say. He didn't look nerve. I mean, he was cool and he kept them in the game and big plays were made.
He was 27 of 40, 262, one touchdown and one pick. He wasn't sacked at all. And just he has that extra element of like just the ability to not only run, but take a hit and get a few more yards or take a hit and not really be affected. It was huge today. KC was good. This felt like a playoff game too. So this is one of those games where I think KC is actually going to get something out of. It's like, all right, we hit the canvas, guys, but hey, it's week 11. We've been here before. So our last undefeated team in the league, KC, has their first loss of the year. And it really was kind of close because it was just KC couldn't convert a 4th and 13 in the end. They were giving it a shot. But I'm watching that game, and were you thinking like, yeah, this is close, but hey, Mahomes is going to win this game? Because
Yeah.
I definitely think that every single game.
Yeah, I thought so too. But it was a good win for the Buffalo Bills. And look, they're only half a game. They played an extra game. They got one more loss, and the loss got in the Chiefs. If Chiefs stumble again, well, we may be playing championship football in Buffalo.
Biggest disparity, just looking at the stats here, was rushing. Buffalo 164, Kansas City 78 yards. Kansas City needs some help on the running game. For sure. Their biggest runner got 60 yards. A little help there would open things up, but 21-30 Bills over Kansas City at Buffalo. Great way to end the slate of late games, I thought. And then you're just like, gimme, what's next? Bengals at Chargers. Let's go. Flip it on right now.
Yep.
So that was the games. Fun Sunday. Like I told you, it was a different Sunday for me. Still digging out trash from my pockets. But we got awards, as we do every week on the show. So here we go. Let's start with the most memorable moment of the day. I got Buffalo capping off the late games.
Okay.
Or the Cincinnati comeback. That 25 minutes of Cincinnati just like Higgins, Chase, Burrow getting out of sacks. Really, really fun moments there. So just because it's fresh in my head, I might go that Cincinnati comeback as the memorable moment.
I'm gonna say the memorable moment is like you said earlier. It is definitely the memorable moment of the Bills because again, I think this win is gonna have far more repercussions in the playoffs and seeding and home field advantage. And so a huge win for them. This is the signature win that may kickstart the Buffalo run.
It's a good pick. Great end to the sun. Like that was a great 20 minutes of that game. It's like when the condensed version of that game pops up on YouTube tomorrow and it's going to be, 17 minutes condensed. I'm like, yeah, flip it on. I'm watching this whole thing. I'm going to reacquaint myself with this game tomorrow. Next award, the cringeworthy award for the week. To no surprise, I have a few nominations from my own team. Cringeworthy, the Raiders had the worst record in the NFL, I think, Omar.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have 2 wins or less?
No, I think they're all at 2. All the shitty teams are at 2 wins.
Who else has 2? Carolina has 3, right? Jacksonville. What's Jacksonville got?
Yeah, they've only won 2 games.
Okay, so Jacksonville and the Raiders are the worst teams in the NFL.
The Raiders,
other nominee I have
the Browns, the Jaguars.
Oh, we beat the Browns, so mathematically we should be better than the Browns, right?
The Giants have won 2.
Ooh,
Yeah,
we're in a bad spot.
Quite a few, but you're correct. The Panthers
have 3 wins. Other nominee I have sideline faces when a kick is either blocked or missed. When they showed Cincinnati's sideline when that guy missed the 52-yarder, and it's just like, Or did you see the coach? He mouths the word "missed it." He's like,
Yeah. Yep.
or the sideline of the Bears faces when the field goal is blocked. Like I think Caleb did this. He was like, just deflated. So I got faces on the sideline when a kick is missed. Oh, and then I got this one, a little bit of a deeper cut. The end of the first half of the Sunday Night Football game, here was the play series. Herbert gets a roughing the passer penalty. Herbert intentionally grounds the ball. It's not called. And then a pass interference on Cincinnati leading to a chip shot field goal for the Chargers. Just shitty refereeing, play calling, and it ends up in a nice, easy field goal for the Chargers. Didn't like it. Did not like how that first half ended.
No.
Bad. What do you got? Cringeworthy for the week.
Cringeworthy. I'm going to go with the bottom feeding teams in the NFC South. I'm sorry, AFC South. The Titans and the Jaguars. Another 2-win team. The Titans. Just bad all around football.
Jeez, bad. Will Levis had one good deep pass today though.
Yeah,
he's good for one a game. He's one past Will.
Yeah,
you know when it's coming.
Not enough to keep a job though.
No. Chances are someone else is starting at QB next year on the Titans.
Great chance of that.
You know what I forgot? I forgot Mike Vrabel is in the market for coach to coach a team next year. Like he's coaching somebody next year.
I would agree with that.
I really wanted him for the Raiders last year. It didn't happen with the Antonio Pierce, the way he ended the season, but he's a good coach. He's got to be with somebody next year.
I saw that in Wisconsin, the college university, Jack Del Rio resigned because he got busted with a DWI.
Jack Del Rio was the coach of the Wisconsin Badgers?
No, he had like some position with the program.
Oh, really? No. Well, let the man drink. Come on. No, like not too much driving. No. Back in the day, Omar, the cops would pull you over if you were drinking, and they would say like, "Hey, just follow us home."
Yeah, just
what happened to those days?
You got someone that can pick you up here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wait too long.
All right, well, this is a perfect segue into our most memeable moment of the week. I got a few nominees. I only have one nominee because it's a good one. Have you seen this clip going around the internet where it's sports players doing the Trump dance?
Yes.
That is a great, I have watched that video like 100 times. It never does not make me laugh. So the Trump dance, is memeable, but in the Detroit game today, somebody scored a touchdown, did the dance. The Raiders game, I think it was the tight end, did the Trump dance. And then last night, the winner of that MMA fight did the Trump dance for Trump, who was in the first row. And like, they're like laughing and like, it's a whole thing. The Trump dance. So memeable moment. Absolutely. Like that is not going away. It keeps getting funnier and funnier. I love the Trump dance. It's so unrhythmic, and that's what makes it funny. The Trump dance. What do you got for the memeable moment?
I'm gonna do the Jameis pregame huddle when he was trying to talk to the team, to get them pumped up. It was just very, very animated.
Do we have any audio on that? Was the mic on him?
We got to get. I don't know, but it just looked extremely animated. We got to find that clip.
Yeah, I'd like to have a mic on him. He does great press conferences after games. He's like, like I want the constant camera on Collinsworth. I want a constant mic on Winston. He's just audio gold. I love it. All right, so good memeable moment there. Next award, Best Innovation Award. This week I flipped it because I picked a non-innovation. And my non-innovation is how every single player, like the offensive, usually receivers, they have the big mouthpiece on their face mask and they never put it in their mouth. So this is a non-innovation. They got these big mouthpieces. They're different colors of their helmets and face masks, and they
But they're
never
not
put them in their mouth. DBs never put it. There's a Detroit Lion guy who sticks his mouthpiece in one of the vents of his helmet, and he never takes it out. It just stays there.
Yep.
So this is a non-innovation for the week is the mouthpiece.
My innovation is going to be all the super scoreboards and all these new stadiums. I was paying attention to that today. It's insane what these stadiums are putting out there.
Yeah, like it's all coming off the Jerry's World massive football
Yeah.
field scoreboard.
Everyone's
What?
got their own take on it now. Everyone, now there's the curved ones, and
Oh
it's
yeah, SoFi's got the circle one.
I think Atlanta's got a circle one.
Yeah, like how much further can we go with these scoreboard jumbotron things?
Right.
Other than everybody having their own jumbotron at their seat, I don't know where else we go with this. We can't go any bigger, can we?
So can I give a hot take? Maybe NFL gets so violent that we're gonna give these every single player on a 53-man roster those meta goggles, and we'll just do a virtual reality football games.
That's coming. That's absolutely coming. You're right about that. Speaking of like big scoreboards, like at the Dallas game, did you watch the Tyson fight Friday night?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you have the feed shut down on you like everybody else?
Um, oh yeah, it was I thought my internet was down.
Yeah, like what a way to shit the bed, Netflix. You have this huge fight and it goes down like they couldn't handle it. So, do you know how I watched the fight?
How?
Antonio Brown's Twitter feed. He was at the fight and he just sort of went on Twitter live and was recording the jumbo screen with his phone. And it saved the fight for me. That's how I watched the fight. He's just showing the screen and I could watch it. And at one point, I think he had 5.5 million viewers watching his feed live. But it was so great because like you'd hear him like laughing and his buddies talking in the background. It totally saved it. Otherwise, there was no watching that fight. It would that stream was not coming up. So Antonio Brown deserves a big, big shout out because he saved the fight for 5.5 million people Friday night.
Yep.
I love fight night. There's nothing like it. The pageantry, like the potential controversy, the undercards, the celebs. There's no other sport that has something that is like fight night.
What did you think? Did you see the Mike Tyson? He was in his jog when he during
Oh,
the
right.
interview.
We got a shot of Mike's ass.
And, and everyone's like,
That's
"Oh my
funny.
God, look at his ass! It's gross." I'm like, "The man's 60 years old. What do you guys expect?"
Yeah, 58 years old. And
Yeah.
he seemed like 58 after that first round. He was tired. The other good revelation from the Netflix fight was Rosie Perez. Did you hear her commentating on the other fights?
Yeah.
She knew her boxing. I really thought
Good.
she was great.
I think she's very entertaining. I think she's very smart and a great communicator. I actually find I really like listening to her.
Yeah, like if there's one thing to draw out of this like debacle that was Netflix is like they nailed the presentation, they just couldn't get it to the viewers,
Oh,
and they discovered this Rosie Perez like awesome fight commentator.
what do you think Roger Goodell's face was like watching the Netflix Tyson fight, knowing that in a few weeks you got two Christmas games on Netflix?
Yep.
If I'm Goodell, I'm making a phone call to Netflix and saying, "What the hell?"
The pressure's on Netflix. Like we saw you fuck up.
Right.
What do you got? Because okay, there's the fight thing, that's fine, but fans are not going to stand for this in the NFL. There are going to be some angry people because it's Christmas Day. You're already spending too much time with your family. You need something for everybody to look at and not talk to each other. We need this, Netflix. This is going to save us 3 hours of potentially fights, arguments. People are going to be pissed off and angry from travel. Get it together right now, Netflix. Figure it out, please.
You need to check out Shador Sanders's X feed or Twitter feed, whatever. After every Raiders loss, Shador Sanders posts, "Thank you, God."
I like that he wants to be a Raider, but I'm just, I have Jamarcus Russell scars on me.
Mm-hmm.
I just, you need talent, yes, but we need a little something more than talent these days. Talent's not enough. Jamarcus Russell, just remember that, Raiders fans, when we're looking at just pure talent.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
You've been duped before.
Yes. Let's move on to the soundtrack award. Just a quick one this week. Have you been watching that commercial for Ford where the dad is teaching the daughter how to drive a stick shift, and then she's washing the car, and then he passes on the car to her, and then she has a brand new car, and the guy's old, which I don't like those commercials. They make me sad when they go through all this like time. But the Creedence song they're playing during the commercial, excellent choice. Back to American-made muscle there. Let's get back to that. No more Subarus are made with love. And tell me about why the car's tough.
Okay.
I'll go with that CCR song as the soundtrack award. Not a award we give out every week.
Okay.
Anything from you this week?
No, I wasn't prepared for that one, so I'll think about it. I'll do better next week.
Okay, come back to it if you think of something.
Yeah.
What about, you're not a car guy, are you?
No.
The Scout doesn't do anything for you? I think that's a real car guy model.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me.
No, me neither. All right, Hot Take Award. I know you got something chambered for this.
Oh.
I got 2 nominees this week. Hot take number 1. Joe Burrow, enough with the hair. Enough. You're losing too many games to have this hair. Cut it short, cut off the blonde. Look normal at this point. It's not cute anymore. And then hot take nominee number 2. Did you hear Chris Sims at halftime?
What do you say?
Chris Sims at halftime put the Chargers above the Ravens. I was like, that's a hot take, Chris Sims.
That's a hot take. I wouldn't do that.
Hot take. Those are my 2 nominees, and I'm going to split the decision. I say they both get the award. We shall cut the award in half.
Okay.
What do you got? Hot take for the week?
Hot take, if coming from me, this is going to be 49ers will not be in the playoffs this year. So
Miss the playoffs entirely.
They're going to miss the playoffs entirely.
Let's see. You got 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. That's possible.
Yeah.
It's a hot take, but I think it's possible. God. All right, that brings us to the next award, the Sunday double feature. Again, I did some thinking on this one. We got the holidays coming up. By the way, I'm going to be in town for Thanksgiving, Omar. So get ready.
Let's do it.
Get ready. So we got travel coming up. It's holidays, it's flights, it's airports, it's commercial airlines. So this week, I got airplane movies for you, Omar, and I'm going to give you 3. Pick your favorite. Airplane movies, Passenger 57, Executive Decision, or Air Force One.
Okay, I'm going to go with Air Force One. That to me was peak action adventure thriller. I loved Air Force One. Huge Air Force. I'm trying to think of you didn't put snakes on a plane.
Oh yeah, I could have put that in there. Not one of my favorite airplane movies, but yes, an airplane movie.
What about Airplane?
Airplane itself. That would be a good. It'd be a good OJ. That's a good addition. Yes. Yeah, Air Force One is a good pick. Like it's pre 9/11, and we had this bit of reverence for The Office at that point because Harrison Ford, the president, kicks ass in it. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a toss-up for you between Passenger 57 and Air Force One, but you went Air Force One.
Yeah.
I thought of that award because I watched Executive Decision was on Tubi this week. Had to watch it. Excellent movie. I recommend Executive Decision. All right, moving on. I got... I didn't really have a location award for the week this week. Although if I were to pick one, that home crowd in Buffalo would probably get it by default because that looked like so much fun to be in a home crowd when your team takes down an undefeated Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I'll give it to that. But best quote, here we go. 2 nominees from Chris Collinsworth this week. There was a part in the broadcast where Melissa Stark was talking about an injury, and one of the players said what they're going to try is this heating cream lotion to alleviate the pain. And Chris Collinsworth hears it and goes, the lotion won't work. Just killed the point there. So the quote is the lotion won't work. And then there was a Herbert TD in the first half, and Collinsworth just goes, whoa!
Nice. Yeah.
2 great ones. Collinsworth, it's worth watching Sunday night.
And I'm not gonna have any quotes. Like I said, I was at the basketball games watching, so obviously the audio, I didn't have any audio really on.
What if you do the one earbud? Like, just the one in the ear, so you got the other ear open. How about that? You just and pick a game. Go Mark Sanchez game or Tom Brady game. Try that for the future. That may be
something to do.
You can go radio style. Like, I watched more Sunday Ticket in the car today too.
Oh, good.
I was driving with NFL Sunday Ticket on my phone.
That sounds dangerous.
It was kind of dangerous. Okay, let's go to Who Won the Week. I got 2 nominees. Number 1 is the Buffalo fans. And number 2, AT&T Stadium won the week. Tyson fight on Friday, and they've got the Monday night game tomorrow night. Quick turnaround, biggest sporting event arguably of the year with the Tyson fight, and they're going to have Monday night as well. So AT&T Stadium, you won the week for me.
For me, I'm going to say the who won the week with the Kansas City Chiefs losing. Obviously, Buffalo is now in a great position to maybe make a run for the number 1 seed. But I want to say now the Lions are the team to beat. I understand that but I think we can all agree. I understand that the Chiefs are the defending 2-time champions and 3 titles in the last 5 years or whatever that is. But at the end of the day, right now, Patrick Mahomes is not playing Patrick Mahomes. And this is not the same Chiefs team that we've seen in other years. So right now, I think the team that wins the week, on the day that the Chiefs lose their first game, the Lions blew someone out 52-6. They won the week.
Mm-hmm. People always will say at the end of the day. No one ever says at the beginning of the day. What about that? Or what about when someone wants to end the conversation with you and they just go, it is what it is.
It is
all right, this person don't want to talk to me anymore.
I said too much.
Perhaps too much. All right, that leaves us 1 game left for week 11. That is Monday night. I already said it, from AT&T Stadium in Dallas. We have a red hot Houston, Texas going into a very discouraging Dallas Cowboys. Monday night. Omar, your excitement level for this game?
I'm excited. I'm excited about a Texas matchup. I'm here in Texas. I know you're in Illinois right now. I am excited about a good old Texas matchup. You remember the Texans were the team I put in the Super Bowl for the AFC against the Niners. They too are not really so much on my Super Bowl radar anymore. So I looks like I got the Super Bowl prediction completely wrong. I want to go Texans. I want to go Texans 27, Dallas Cowboys 16.
We got our Monday night predictions way wrong last week. We both picked the Rams, and they did not look good at all against the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So you go 27-16. You like the Texas matchup. How many Houston Texans fans do you expect are going to be in AT&T Stadium?
A lot.
I have a feeling it's going to be a little on the ugly side. We're going to have a lot of Texans fans in the Cowboy Stadium. It's rough. It's also rough for the Cowboys because they're going into the Thanksgiving game. And if you don't have a good team for the Cowboys going into the Thanksgiving game, it's a rough Ramirez house on Thanksgiving. Let me tell you, it's It's not pretty. If that game gets away from the Cowboys at the start of the second half, dessert is quiet at my house.
Well, I think we're going to be discussing crazy this year that the Detroit Bears game is going to be the must watch over the Cowboys Giants on
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
when's the last time that happened? That's true. You always kind of were like, what's up with the Lions? I don't know. When does the Cowboys game start? It's Lions now. Who do the Lions play?
Lions are playing the Bears.
Oh, really fun game, though. Okay, fun NFC matchup. And then there's always a Thursday night game that rotates,
Thursday,
right?
Let me look that one up real quick. What was your prediction on the
Oh, I'm going to go Houston 28, Dallas 12. I see an odd score in Dallas's future. I'm going to write it down right now. 28-12 is my prediction. So if anything holds consistent, we're going to be wrong again, and Dallas pulls this off.
and remember, the evening matchup is going to be the Dolphins at the Packers, which is interesting. And remember, we also get a Black Friday game this year.
Yep, I saw that. That's Raiders and somebody, right?
Raiders and Chiefs on Prime.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll give this jacket one more week,
Let's see. Let's. I don't think Jeff Bezos is gonna let have any streaming problems for this game. So I think the real competition now is going to be the streaming services who can have the least screw ups on these live sports.
Yeah, least screw ups. Who can win that battle?
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, Netflix, YouTube. Who can do it?
Netflix is not a playoff team right now. Let's just put it.
Oh yeah. Well, what can we rank Netflix as? You gonna give them New Orleans? You gonna give them Cleveland?
Yeah, they're looking like that right now. Prime and what YouTube TV is doing with the Sunday Ticket right now. Those are your two heavyweights right now.
Well, you heard it, everybody. That was the Sunday Night Talk for Week 11 in the NFL. The season is flying by.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We know who some contenders are. We know who some total duds are. My team. Well, take a good look at this jacket and hat combo because this may be it, America. All right, everybody. For Omar Carmona, for me, Patrick Ramirez, that was Week 11. Good night, everybody. Get some sleep.